Jaden, everybody wants to know what you think about what just happened with Trump. He was found guilty on 34 accounts of, what is it? I should know this. Yeah, it's basically, dude, he's a felon. He's a felon now. What does this mean to you?
Well, I'm happy you're referring to him correctly. He is definitely Trump the felon, and I think every news organization I've seen has officially adapted Trump the felon as his title. So I think it's catchy. I saw a really interesting post that kind of sums up, it doesn't really sum up my opinion on it, but I think it's funny, from the Babylon Bee, that said Trump indicted on 34 felonies by Biden, who has been indicted on 0 of his 34 felonies or something like that. It was like Trump the felon running against Biden, or Trump the convicted felon running against Biden the non-convicted felon. That's probably what it was. And it was pretty funny.
Yeah, dude, it's funny. I mean, this isn't going to do much except give them the title. Give like the news organizations like fuel to run with, and honestly, that's probably all they wanted. For those who don't know, like,
easy branding.
Like, they got Trump on like some incorrectly like filing some business like ledger things, and they bent the law like into a figure eight, like trying to like make him a felon. Like, it would have, like, statutes of limitations had run out, but like because of some other thing he did, it like got rid of that. So instead of it being a misdemeanor, they like brought like another charge in that like technically did this to that, and like now they like have the title. It'll all be rolled back most likely because
after
like
the election.
Like
it'll be repealed after the election. Yeah.
The circumstances around the whole thing are like just obviously like political lawfare, and but they have the titles and the clickbait stuff that they want. And honestly,
my opinion on it is, like, I would have been inclined to believe, like, okay, yeah, Trump's probably done some like shady stuff, like, I don't know, bust him. He's been in business for a long time. He's a billionaire. He's probably done shady stuff. Like, I would be like inclined if they just like left it at that, which is kind of what people talked about like throughout his whole presidency. Like, oh yeah, Trump's like a criminal. He's done bad stuff, but no one ever did anything. Now that they're going after him and with all of these like lawsuits and stuff, it's making me feel like he hasn't done anything wrong. Like, I literally kind of had this like vibe that maybe he'd done something wrong. Now I feel like he definitely hasn't, because the 3 things
they would have had him. Yeah,
they would have had him. How come nothing's sticking? And the 3 ones they got him for, so they're like the 34 felonies. It's like an accounting problem. He obviously doesn't even do his own accounting. Like, okay, whatever. And like, we're turning that into a felony instead of just like a penalty. Like, there was no victim in this crime. They just said it was election interference. So it's like, it's kind of stupid. So obviously this one's ridiculous. The other one that's ridiculous is his like Mar-a-Lago. They're like, you overinflated the valuation of your Mar-a-Lago for like a loan you took out a long time ago. It's like, well, the loan's been taken out. It's been paid back with interest. The bankers are happy. All of his creditors are happy. There's no victim in that crime either. And they're like, we think the valuation of your hotel is like way less than you do. Okay, first off, like, you don't get to choose the valuation of your hotel. You get an appraiser. Like, anyone that sold a house knows how this works. So like, okay, that one's stupid. And then the third one was the E. Jean Carroll one, where she was like, yeah, Trump, it was like a rape kind of thing. But apparently it was like 20 years ago. When they did the lawsuit, they found him innocent of he didn't rape her. First off, the lawsuit shouldn't have ever been possible to be brought because it was over 20 years old. So yeah, statute of limitations, it expired. You're not allowed to go after someone. But New York made this special rule where for 1 year, you're allowed to go after people that have, assault claims can go more than 20 years back just for this one window. We're just doing this 1 year. And it just so happens the cutoff was like right before this lady claimed this thing happened over 20 years ago. Anyways, he was found innocent of the, of like raping her, but they said maybe he assaulted her. And I think the bigger one wasn't actually the assault. I think they said, first up, I mean, her claims are a little dubious, but whatever. That's just my opinion on it. The thing that she really sued him on, though, was actually defamation. That's what she got him on, was for defamation. So that
makes
one,
sense.
Yeah, she was like, because he like called her like a crazy lady because like she named her cat Vagina, and she's has some interesting things about her. She's on tape saying rape is sexy, so like on TV. So like she's got some like weird things about her. And I think he called her crazy, and so she sued him for defamation after she lost the lawsuit, and he was cleared. And she won on defamation, I think is the thing. And then with the defamation suit, She won on defamation. She was asking for like $6 million, but the judge said, no, you should actually get like $18 million or something. So they just bumped it up. You know, she needed a little extra money.
It's crazy because like in retro, like I don't know what her business dealings or what she does, but like defamation is supposed to be like, because you slandered me, I lost business opportunity. It's like,
right.
But actually, like getting more famous sometimes leads to more business opportunity. I don't know if that's like
that's a great point.
Oftentimes it does work out because you get interviews with people, you get more airtime,
right.
You get to explain yourself. Like oftentimes it will backfire and actually
that'd be pretty funny if in an appeal to that they like request her tax returns from like after the case went public to see like how much more money she made afterwards.
She actually has to pay Trump because like she skyrocketed. It's like when businesses say like any news is good news, or like any publicity is good publicity, like good, bad,
right.
Otherwise, right? Like
right.
Probably.
So I mean, I don't really know. I haven't followed the cases too much, other than just seeing kind of like bullet points on what's going on and feeling like overall, if I had any inclination that, oh yeah, Trump's probably done some sketchy business things in the past, because everyone said that, so I was inclined to think maybe there's some truth to it. After all these lawsuits and there's all these legal pretzels that are being bent, I'm like, he must just be completely innocent or something. Like it's so ridiculous.
Yeah, it's totally just like exonerating in a way, you know. I saw on Google on the news, it was everything after that day was like, listen to Trump's like deranged, like crazy sounding speech after being convicted as a felon, not convicted, but you know what I mean. And it's like 7 reasons why Trump sounds absolutely nuts. Like after the blah blah blah. I've listened to his little speech after. Did you hear what he was saying? He was just saying like it's all a sham and everything.
Yeah. I think I saw clips of it.
Yeah, it's just him sounding like him. I don't know. The news is running hard with this.
Yeah, it's interesting. Kevin O'Leary recently was talking on Fox News, and he said that if Trump wins in November, that he's going to owe a big debt to Alvin Bragg for prosecuting him. And I think at the end of the day, like that's what's happening. The day after the news broke, everyone was like, okay, so it was interesting. I saw some polls that were like, Trump was like up in all the polls, and everyone said that they were going to vote for him in swing states, and the only reason they wouldn't is if he was like a convicted felon. And so I think that's why they wanted this like convicted felony thing.
Oh, I did see that poll. That's interesting.
Yeah, so I thought that was interesting. They said the only reason I wouldn't vote for him is if he's a convicted felon. So then, you know, it seems like some people were like, oh, let's make him a convicted felon. Perfect.
Yeah, because like you don't want to be known as the person who voted for a felon, you know.
Right. In any case, something, so anyways, Kevin O'Leary thinks it's going to be good for him. And immediately after the news broke, a lot of people were expecting this to be bad news for Trump, maybe, but like his popularity went up about 6% on like a poll that came out right after. So it seems like popularity's up. And then he also raised $50 million. Everyone, I saw tons of people on like X that were like, you know, typically liberal, not conservative, not GOP donors being like, oh, donating 300,000, donating 200,000 to Trump. Like all these people donating that were like, haven't done it before, but this is obviously lawfare. So really wild. I think I reflect other people's sentiments that it was like, this was a dumb move by Democrats. I'm not sure how this was supposed to hinder Trump. This obviously just boosts him.
The fact that it's considered a move is like, what's wrong with it? Like, it wasn't like a...
That's true. 100% true.
They totally didn't neutralize it. Like, they totally just make it look insane. And the only reason this would hurt Trump is if voters are low information voters, which guess what? They actually are. Most people don't have a clue what's happening in politics.
True.
They just have no idea.
So I was actually recently talking to someone, and I'm like, oh man, did you hear about the 37 felonies? Wasn't that like a crazy case? And they're like, yeah, Trump's really bad. He's done a lot of bad things. And I was like, well, I mean, these ones are kind of like a little dubious. And they're like, oh, I don't know. Anyways, they didn't know anything about like the case. Yeah. So I think that's kind of the goal, I think, for people that are trying to brand it is like, there's a lot of people that are so burnt out of politics. They don't care about it. It's annoying. They're burnt out of Trump. They're burnt out of Biden. And so for that, I think there might be some sort of benefit or sway in Trump the felon branding, because people don't even want to read past the headline. And if they just accept the headline, then they might believe it.
I'm with you. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much to everyone for tuning into the podcast and listening to us discuss American politics, both of us being originally born in Canada. So, our we always got a good take on everything, but hope that you all have an amazing rest of your day. If you enjoyed the episode, we would super appreciate it if you drop us a review. If you're livid and furious that we're covering the Trump trials and our take on Trump because you have a different political opinion, you could leave that in a review as well. Although we'd prefer if you leave it, still make it a 5-star, but just say all the reasons why we're wrong and you hate us. Totally acceptable, but you do need to make that a 5-star because come on, this is good content, and we really appreciate it.
We don't read the 1-star reviews. They just don't.
We don't read
to us.
Yeah, exactly. We don't read the 1-star reviews. So if you're mad, leave it as a 5-star, and we'll still get it, and we'll feel personally shameful and stuff. But it has to be a 5-star review in order for that to happen.
If it's a 1-star review, then it means you love Trump.
Yeah, rate 1 star if you are mega gang. All right, thanks so much for tuning in, guys. In all seriousness, we do appreciate your reviews and appreciate y'all tuning in. Hope that you all have an amazing rest of your day.